All right, people, we are here for the semifinals of Season 6 of the Battle Hub Draft League. 4 coaches remain, but only one can win. I'm not alone, though. I am joined by my fellow commissioner. Introduce yourself, buddy.
Hey everybody, Captain B-Nard here, and I am super excited to be back for one of these playoff preview videos. And I do know a little something about the semifinals. I've been there 3 times myself here, though not this season, the BHDL. And yeah, just pretty excited to talk about these big time matchups here.
Yes, sir. And we've also got special guests, a new coach this season. Introduce yourself, my friend.
Hey everybody, it's Danny Dave here, and I'm very appreciative that I was invited to do one of these talks because I've never done this before, and it's going to be very exciting to see what's going on with the finals. You all beat my butt this season, and it's crazy, and it's just awesome that I'm here to talk about the potential matchups and everything.
Hey,
I was going to say,
you got thrown into
Emerald,
the deep
you may have the least qualified panel on your side right now, given that Dave and I both got our asses kicked in the regular season. So, but we're still going to provide some insight. So
now, listen, I feel like you guys, even though the season didn't turn out as good for y'all, I know you guys have the experience. You know, sometimes it's just one of those things. You know, not every season is going to be a hot season for you.
That being every battle is just going to get better, so.
Yeah, hey, listen, it's Pokemon is all about experience and experience-based games. So the more you battle, the more
true.
That being said, though, I mean, we still got the regular season here from the last time, just to kind of review. If you guys saw, based on the first slide, you will know that the top 3 coaches were eliminated from the playoffs. I feel like this is the first
ever,
right? Usually, it's always the higher seed wins, right? But not this season.
Everything's upside down, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, but while we're here, I do kind of just want to hear from both of you guys, kind of how your season went, or like just an overall, your thoughts on BHDL Season 6, the low tiers and all that. Dave, since you're the guest, why don't you start off?
Well, coming back into Pokemon battling and then doing a draft after a while, and it was low tier, seemed pretty fun for me, and it was a good way to get back. And you guys were all goated though, so the low tier definitely made every battle this very interesting, and that was one thing I really appreciated. Like I was just like, all these cool Pokemon, like that Muck. I remember facing that Muck, and like Ghost Terra cursing on me, Wild Curse, like it was just crazy, and just coming in here with the low tiers, it gets the opportunity for a lot of Pokemon you don't really see pull off some crazy stunts, and that was just overall that just makes this fun just by hearing that. And I saw that there's an Inkay that did some crazy stuff too with the Choice Scarf, like all these things that you would never see in a regular draft, like just with all the full-blown Pokemon, and that was just. For me, that just makes it really interesting to watch and to play.
Yeah, absolutely. What are your thoughts, B-Nard?
Yeah, so I have similar thoughts. I didn't participate in the last season of the BHDL, so it was a little bit of a return, so to speak, for me too. And it was very interesting to play a lower tier. I mean, I play lower tiers a lot in casual battles, but I've never done a lower tier draft league before. And there was definitely a learning curve, and it was definitely a little bit of a different experience than I was expecting. But it was really interesting, and it was, again, I agree, cool to see Pokemon that you don't normally see get drafted, or let alone do anything impressive or important in games, to kind of get the chance to shine. So really cool concept, and yeah, I wish I could have done better, of course, but yeah, it was a fun ride, and just really interesting to see the creativity as well. So not only Pokemon that you don't see in games very often, but just the creativity that so many of these players had with these Pokemon this season was pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, that's the, you know, usually draft you always get a lot of that creativity. But I don't know, this season just like franked it up to 11. I mean, just like
absolutely.
I mean, of course we got the Luxray, but then we've also got, like you said, like the Muck, the Farigiraf popped off. Like we've had Farigiraf in this league before, but it's never really popped off until Stefan had it, and like Florantis. Just a lot of cool sets. Like every heat of the week or Pokemon of the week was just like, man, there's so many cool stuff happening. With that though,
You love
let's
to
get
see it.
into real quick the kill leaderboard. We've been bringing this up a lot all season, just to kind of track it, and it's interesting now because even though this Luxray after the quarterfinals didn't get any more kills, it's still holding it strong because the next closest Mon we see there is the Duraludon, who is going to need like basically 8 kills in order to surpass this Luxray and not let the Luxray get any kills either. So in my opinion, it seems like Luxray's all but guaranteed the mascot logo for BHDL Season 7.
And that's pretty cool in and of itself, for sure. I know we've had like a roller coaster with the BHDL mascots before, but yeah, Luxray is a cool lower tier Mon, and yeah, that's definitely going to be a sight to see.
Yeah, and the thing too about it is that his whole goal was to not only obviously have the logo, but Zeus also wanted to surpass Scorp's Lunala. And at this time, I mean, it's gonna need like 7 kills. So they need to not only do good in the semifinals, but they also need to replicate that success in the finals. Basically, they need to win the whole thing nearly if they want to surpass Lunala. Which,
Yeah,
not impossible.
Got a couple of back-to-back
but
sweeps here with Luxray to make that happen. Which you never say never, right?
not impossible, but we'll just have to see. And with that, then, we are going to be looking now at the playoff bracket. As we alluded to earlier, we've got 4 coaches here that have moved on. And now it is going to be Zeus versus Al and Kingbura versus Anastasia. B-Nard, what are your thoughts when you saw that this was the 4 coaches that were moving on?
So I know I said this in the Discord before, but I do truly mean this. I think this was the most open playoffs we've ever had in BHDL. And so I say that for a couple of reasons. Obviously, there were a lot of coaches that did not return from prior seasons in this season that had done historically well, yourself included. But in addition to that, all of these coaches in this playoff seemed very evenly matched. They seem, even though there was a spread of records and differentials, they seemed pretty evenly matched. They seemed very creative, and everybody really earned their spot in this. Not that that hasn't been the case in the past, but this season, especially with the creativity and the unpredictability, I think somebody said it, but I don't believe, have had this many sweeps this season as any other season. This season had more sweeps than I believe any other season in BHDL, which was kind of shocking to most of us, I think, because we were thinking, lower tier and sweep are not usually synonymous with each other, but in this case they were. So I was quite honestly not surprised by any of these results, and similarly, I would not have been surprised if any of the other coaches had won either. And I know that's kind of a very fence-sitting opinion to have, but that is truly my opinion. That these coaches all seemed very evenly matched, and yeah, I'm not surprised at any of these results, and they all definitely earned it.
Yeah, for sure. Danger Dave, I know you're a newcomer here, but you played a fair amount of these coaches, so what were your thoughts when you saw these quarterfinals matches and saw the results?
Dude, when I saw the results for the quarterfinal matches, I wasn't surprised. Obviously, every one of these players, all of you guys are really great battlers. Like, have the experience in the drafts, and you all have all these techniques that I still have not yet to experience. So, seeing all you guys do your battles, seeing the weekly recaps were like the craziest things. I fall asleep to those things all the time, put them on. Sometimes I wouldn't fall asleep. I just watch the whole thing. But just watching this battle, I was like, dang, I didn't even know that Pokemon could do that. And like, everyone had something creative and cool and they brought to the battle that I would not have thought of, and that I even think sometimes when I'm facing every single one of y'all, I have like the little shivers, like say like I got like in trouble at school and I'm about to go see the principal. This is what I'm feeling like when I'm about to go up against one of you guys at every battle. And seeing like Anastasia, Kingbura, Zeus, and Abomination being in top 4 is no surprise. I didn't get to face Abomination, but I saw his videos. He was pretty goated, and Anastasia had me good. So like oh my gosh, Anastasia and muck. And then Zeus, I know Zeus, I had beat Zeus, but that Luxray almost came back when he created my Sinitcha, and I was like, yeah, I thought that was done for, and I was, but that was a really high potential though. That Luxray actually could have came back when I was actually securing the win before that crit happened. I was like already confident I was going to win that, but that crit, and it had me sweating, I'm not going to lie. So, but everyone plays very well and very smart, and it's, if any of the other people got in the top 4, I wouldn't be surprised the same exact way I'm not surprised now. This, like, everyone's very creative, very smart, and like they're very good with the picks they make, the choices they make, the creativity they have for the Pokemon. And just the lower tier Pokemon just makes it even more fun, because some of these Pokemon were really good back in the day, but with power creep, they weren't really shining. But now that they got the chance, they were like, oh yeah, we're ready for this. We've been waiting. And just seeing that with these 4 coaches now for the next couple of battles is going to be even crazier, because there's still more. So I know some of these people have the potential to pull something out of their behind and showing us up. So yeah, give it up to these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, then let's get into the real meat of this video, which is going to be trying to predict who is going to win in these matches. I wish that there was more. There's only 2 battles this week, but I think these 2 battles, I think the heat that they're going to have, and also the fact that they're both going to be recorded, assuming no recording issues or DCs or anything like that, we should get some nice battles. Right. The first of which we're going to analyze is going to be Abomination versus Zeus. B-Nard, I'm going to let you start us off here, because I know you and Al are pretty close. Just kind of give me your thoughts, and then we can go from there.
Definitely. So, yeah, Al and I go way back. We're pretty good friends on Discord, I would like to think. He's an interesting guy. He's a fun guy. He's a creative guy. And I know I've been given credit for the reason he's part of the BHDL, and although I don't know how true that is, I will certainly take
that is
credit.
100% true.
Thank you. But yeah, no, I knew he would really have fun in this league, because I was in other leagues with him in the past. I battled him for quite some time, years, over a couple different games. I think I started playing him back in Sword and Shield, actually, and continued to play him in BDSP. And yeah, he's a good guy. He's a very funny guy as well, as y'all should know. If you watch his videos, you'll know he's a funny guy as well. And so yeah, he is a super creative guy too when it comes to battling. And so I think the lower tier draft format really feeds into that for him. If we're just looking at the teams on paper, Al versus Zeus. The other thing is, these are actually 2 coaches that I did battle this season. I ended up losing to both of them, actually. But yeah, I played both of these guys this season, and I think I want to say I was a little bit closer of a game with Zeus. When I played Al, I don't think it wasn't like a sweep, but it wasn't particularly close, I don't think. The Zeus game was a little bit closer. But yeah, if you look at these teams on paper, pretty interesting. Al, I know we said this during the team preview video, or the draft analysis video we did many moons ago. Al had one of the best balanced type charts in the entire league, if not the best, which of course, as you all know, that's something that I value highly. And I don't believe he made any transactions this entire season, if I remember correctly. And that's kind of his MO typically for Al, is that he usually doesn't make too many, if any, transactions. He usually likes to draft his initial team and then just stick with it the entire season, which is very respectable too. But yeah, right off the cuff, obviously you have the immediate threats. You have like the Blastoise that can Shell Smash, the Moltres. I know he's used a couple of different sets, like choice sets, that put in a lot of work this season. The Duraludon, just really hard to kill with the Eviolite and great typing. Uxie, great utility Pokemon. Deancey's got nice power and utility. Got that no weaknesses with the Electros. Terra Captains, the Persian and the Jumpluff. Obviously, I think we all underestimated Jumpluff a little bit in the draft analysis video that we did, but it definitely has pulled its own weight. And then Hitmonchan is been a pretty big star as a spinner too. So Just a really solid team top to bottom. I do think the Whiscash and the Swalot, if there were weak links, would probably be the two. But in a lower tier league, they're really not that weak when it comes to lower tier Pokemon. So, but on the flip side, Zeus, I don't take anything away from him either. He's got a really stacked roster as well. Of course, y'all mentioned the Luxray Terra Captain as the kill leader in the league. Probably going to be the mascot for the BHDL next season based on that. But just the combination of the Empoleon and the Sylveon is a great defensive synergy. I love it. Cleaver, I think we said this at the time, but I do still believe is probably one of, if not the best Pokemon on the draft board this season. Actually, Cleaver was my personal favorite on the draft board this season, just because that Stone Axe is nasty. But Hitmontop is solid. What's it called? Palossand is solid. Terra Executor is even solid. Skunk Tank is pretty solid. So if there were any weak links on this team, I'd say maybe the Electrode, maybe the Magmortar, but these are two pretty stacked rosters. And Zeus, I take nothing away from him either. He is a very creative coach as well, and he's done very well for himself. He had a little bit of a rocky start in the beginning of the season, as opposed to Al, who's been pretty consistent this season. But yeah, you have two very creative coaches and two very stacked rosters here.
Absolutely. Danger Dave, what are your thoughts, my friend?
Well, I'm not really too familiar with some of them because I've been really doing a lot of drafts as much as you guys have. But facing Zeus, he is that Cleavor like Captain B-Nard said. That Stone Axe attacking and setting up stealth rocks at the same time. This is goated almost all the time. It's really good. The speed with the Electrode is really cool, but he's got some bulky Pokemon with Uxie. Like Uxie can take hits. Blastoise, as much as it is weak to electric, he's got a lot of checks to that fast Electrode. So, and Electrode being frail, it's not as like threatening, but Palossand. I remember bringing that Raikou against that Palossand with that one item.
The water compaction.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, all these Pokemon have all these different things they can do, and same with Abominations. And I want to say that Hitmontop, Hitmonchan, both being spinners is really cool. I can't really say which one team is better, but that Duraludon, Eviolite, Moltres, Blastoise, Uxie, all those Pokemon are not going to be easy to take down right away. But yeah, both teams. It's hard to like really gauge it. The Executor, Terra, Luxray Terra, like all those are really cool Pokemon. Same with Persian, Fake Out, Jump Bluff. Like you guys said with the Jump Bluff, with the speed, people underestimate that Jump Bluff because Jump Bluff is, if you can Terra into any type, like
not three types.
Yeah, three types, whatever. But the three types, it can be potential. That it's not just fast flying. It can be a fast whatever three types he picks, and it can go hard. And like, especially if you get a Swords Dance up, get the Chlorophyll, it's goated.
Yeah.
I don't really know what else to say. Duraludon, just thinking about trying to take that thing out with the Eviolite without the proper checks to it, it's killing me right now. It's hurting my head. I've been trying to think about that for a minute. I'm not good at taking out some bulky Pokemon once they start setting up. I've already learned that the hard way. But I know both these Pokemon, these players are very creative. They'll figure out a way. But I'm gonna know they also know that they're gonna be creative, so they're gonna both players have a lot of advantages. That Stealth Rock Stone Axe is really good.
Yeah.
Because you can get
both of these.
you can't even. It's not like you can taunt him or anything. You're getting hit and the stuff, and
well, as long as you land the Stone Axe, that's really what matters with Cleavor.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, he hurts. Thwacky is still hurt.
Yeah. Oh man, poor Thwacky. Well, listen. Here's what I see when I look at these matches. I will say I feel like Zeus, big underdog this season. I mean, literally, I can't remember if he was put in D tier or C tier, but either way, his team was like the lowest ranked team. Now, of course, they did make some transactions to help them out, like getting the Palossand, the Magmortar, and the Electrode. Electrode gave him in the extra speed tier. I really like Palossand, honestly, and even Magmortar. Like I didn't. Did y'all know that Magmortar was 83 base speed? I thought this thing was a lot slower than that. It just
I
it does
honestly
not
thought it
look
was
like it
slower,
has
too.
83 base speed.
Yes, I did know that was actually a little bit faster.
Hey,
It is
there
deceptively
you go.
fast. I will say that is deceptively fast.
Yeah, you've done a lot more of these, what's it called? The lower tier Scarlet and Violet Wi-Fi battles than me, so it doesn't surprise me that, B-Nard, you've got that leg up on knowledge on me. But,
Just a little.
Just a little bit. The biggest thing, did you guys know this Luxray was only 3 points as a Terra Captain?
Yes,
This
I
is
saw
like
that
the
as well.
biggest steal in, like, I didn't even realize until after we finished recording the one last week. When I saw this thing was 3 points, this has got to be the biggest budget steal in the BHDL history for, like, all that's done. I mean, 3 points for 18 kills, that's got to be the best deal anyone's ever made.
The best
Emerald, let's ask ourselves this question, Emerald. Who were the idiots that let that thing be 3 points? Like, what commissioners in this call made that call? I mean, come on.
You know,
man,
that's the thing that we always say. The down towards the lower tier of the bracket, there's always some things that just slip through, and man, this Luxray slip right through our finger.
Yes, indeed.
Not gonna happen again, though. Even Executor. I mean, we saw what Executor did last week, and that's the thing that I know that they did bring Terrafire Executor versus Al the first time. It didn't get to pop off, but we've seen the potential of this thing, even with Manual Sun. I mean, this thing is a beast. Once you get a growth off of Terra, I mean, it's basically unstoppable without any priority.
Indeed.
Which, although Al does have some priority health amount versus
You also
team. They got Mach Punch, Hitmonchan. They've got.
I was gonna
That
say.
is true. They do have a counter Chlorophyll Mon. You make a great point there. They got the Fake Out Persian. There's not a whole lot of other priority though.
You got Mach Punch, Hitmonchan can hurt
I
hard or
mentioned
Bullet
that one
Punch.
too. Yeah, I don't know if like they would run Aqua Jet. It is last place even get Aqua Jet. I don't even know.
I believe it does, but also let's not forget about that Electros there. That thing
I was
does
about
not
to say,
want to die in one hit ever.
Oh, it won't die. Yeah, true enough. No,
Not
it gets
one
knocked
hit,
off.
Electros.
But
Yeah.
Electros is so bulky, man. I'm telling you. But
It really
if
is.
we take a look here, all things I don't think that this man has brought this Electrode once, right?
Yeah, I don't think so either.
So
maybe once,
it makes me wonder if it's even gonna come. And like at that point, if that's the case, then I mean Al's got the clear win in terms of speed tiers. I mean everything across the board is pretty much fast. Like Uxie, Moltres, Duraludon even being faster than a lot of these Pokemon. Puts him in a pretty
I do
decent
think
position.
I don't know if we said this on the draft analysis, and this is a super sidebar, but looking at Zeus's team, man, this team would be so much more fire than it already is if he had like
With
a
webs.
sticky Weber on there.
Absolutely.
Oh my, yeah.
I agree. Because we've seen, like, all he needs is just the speed boost, whether it be, like, the Sun, or a Flame Charge Magmortar, or Agility Luxray. Like, once they get going, they hit so hard, and it's, like, not that easy to kill them. So...
Indeed.
That being said, though, I do think that Al has some of the best ways to actually stop this Luxray from doing what it wants to do. Duraludon should be able to tank anyone hit from this thing. I think does it get super power, or does it get close combat on Luxray?
I don't think Luxray gets a fighting move, if I'm not mistaken.
If it doesn't, then
I have
that's
to double check that.
That's big. They also have Diancie. Diancie as well should be able to live
and also
most hits.
Yeah, and Electros I would think
Electros. Well, I don't know. Facade might be kind of tough.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
But yeah, no, I agree with you there, and
they do have that Uxie though.
It's also important to note, I think none of the Terra types on Luxray are going to help it against like Duraludon or Diancie for that matter.
Yeah, and they don't really want a Terra Normal because that really opens it up to Hitmonchan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Luxray doesn't learn any fighting attacks. Or ground.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I'm honestly surprised by that.
No.
Well,
I guess it could have had Fighting Fang, but I don't think that's a move yet.
Fighting
Fang.
That would be crazy, bro. I do want to give Zeus his props though, because I mean, like Hitmontop. This is Battle of the Hitmons, by the way.
Yes.
Hitmontop is one of the best spinners, I think, in the lower tiers. And I
love
mean,
Hitmontop.
they got these heavy hitters, man. The Cleavor, the Luxray, the Sylveon, even in Napoleon, just bulky offense to the max that can really honestly punch a lot of holes. Like if you can get in the right Pokemon on Abomination, then you can kind of just start going in,
Yeah.
especially if you get them set up. That being said, though, Al, I do think they have the natural speed advantage, and also they have kind of a. I mean, we saw the type chart. Not as many
Well, yeah, because I
weaknesses
think
to exploit.
the other thing is if you look at Zeus's team, his not only is his fastest Pokemon Electrode, which pretty much never comes to a game, his second fastest Pokemon is Scyther, which I don't believe has come to too many games either. So that pretty much, and those are his only two Pokemon with a speed of over 100. So yeah, the speed
Yeah, and if he does bring
is a
Scyther,
big
you gotta
advantage.
watch out for all those rock setters, and then he has to heavy duty boots and then fight the rocks if he's bringing rock setters for
That
Scyther
is true.
alone.
It might not
Yeah.
be too much as big as a deal with the rock. They've usually been able to do pretty good. Like I said, Hitmontop is one of the best spinners. Al doesn't have a spin blocker, so it might not be
Yes,
as bad. Um,
maybe.
while Zeus actually does have a very good spin blocker in Palosan to
Yes.
potentially keep their Stone Axe rocks up, especially when you're facing a Moltres. And I don't know. I think we can all remember that Al brought Choice Scarf Moltres last time. We'll see if they do decide to be that
Yes.
brave again.
You,
I don't know. That would be an awfully bold move, bringing that on Moltres in the face of Cleaver. I can tell you that much. But
Yeah,
I wouldn't put it past Al because he is a man of bold moves. I will say that.
absolutely. And that's the thing that, like, aside from all of this, like, I think what this match is ultimately going to come down to, like, this is going to be a cook-off, basically. It's like both of these coaches absolutely cook in the kitchen. They serve up a masterclass feast when it comes to these sets.
I
So
like that.
I think it's really going to come down to the prep. Both of them are very good at planning. Like we saw the execution that Zeus did versus Pokemaster. Right? Well, I guess I do that mean in both senses of the word. But he makes a plan, and then he goes about and executes. He does it properly, and he gets his mon set up the way he wants to, and then they go to work. You know, Al, I feel like does that too. I mean, we saw that whenever he had his jump bluff versus DRVR. Um, so they're both very good at planning and executing the plan. It's just a matter of, I guess, who's going to be able to do that first. Who's going to be able to do that better?
Yeah. So if we're going into the prediction stage of this video
Yeah.
of this matchup, I would say looking at these teams top to bottom, I think my money's on Al, and I think there's a couple of reasons for that. So the speed tiers are a big deal, I think. So the fact that Al's going to win most of the speed tier wars in this match is going to be pretty big for him, unless Zeus tries to bring like Electrode, for example, which is pretty limited. I mean, that thing's not going to do anything to like so many Pokemon on Al's team. So it's like, is that worth bringing? I don't know. Same thing with Scyther, kind of. But aside from the speed tiers, I will say I do think that Duraludon would be pretty hard for Zeus to break outside of like Choice Band Hitmontop or something, and even then maybe Chople will save him. But that would be bold to be Chople instead of Violite, so who knows? Um, but I do think that Al has the edge on paper. Zeus has a lot going for him. So like the Cleavor Palo Stand, Stone Axe Spin Block, and the Terra Luxray, I think could be real big in this game. But I don't know. I do think Al has the advantage on paper. He's got a lot of bulky Pokemon. He's got great type balance. So his team is definitely more type balanced than Zeus's, which is going to be a factor, I think, especially given the fact that Zeus is a little bit upside down on like fire and water, and you got that Blastoise and that Moltres. Like, there's not a lot that Zeus can bring. Like, Al can kind of just like spam Fire Blasts into Zeus with Moltres, and like, unless he brings Magmortar, like, what's going to switch into that, you know? So I don't know. I do think Al has the advantage here on paper. So I will say I'm not counting Zeus out, but I do think Al is the favorite to win this in my mind, and he's my pick to win this. I do think that, how do I put this? So I think that this game is really Al's to win or lose in my mind. Like the more I look at these two teams on paper, the more I think like this game is probably Al's to either win or lose. Like I think if both of these coaches play their cards right and nobody makes a mistake and they both have good prep, I think Al wins this. So I think realistically the best way Zeus can win this is if Al makes a mistake, like a colossal misplay. I think that's probably Zeus's best way to win this game is if Al drops the ball somewhere, or if he can like outmaneuver Al, which is pretty hard because Al is a pretty creative and unpredictable player himself. So I do think my money's on Al for this one for sure.
Yeah. What are you thinking, Dave?
I was kind of thinking the same because like kind of Captain B-Nard said, Duraludon. If I can't. Looking at Zeus's team, if I had some of his Pokemon and I'm trying to like I see all this potential, but if I don't take out some of these Pokemon, I'm a goner. If like, say, example, he brings Electrode, 2 counter at speed. Whatever he doesn't take out is most likely gonna take out that Electrode. And that's just a risk I don't know if he's gonna take, so why would we even bring him? So speed is that big tier, the difference, and the bulk of Abomination's team it's there. He's got a lot of hard hitters, Zeus does. And like especially if he can execute Cleaver and Empoleon Sylveon well with him on Chan, getting rid of those rocks, he could have a chance, especially like with Cleaver can learn like close combat, right? He can learn close combat, I believe. Yeah.
Close combat,
and
it's interesting. It's a speed tie between the Cleavor and the Archaludon as well. So
yeah,
depending on how they
good prediction.
make their speed.
If you can pull something like that off, like like a good prediction on Zeus can maybe change the tide with Abomination, or a miss, maybe like Hacks could pull favor, but this Abomination team just looks like scary to try to take down, especially if like Oxy getting like any Calm Minds or anything. Like, well, yeah, physical attackers, so maybe not that big of an issue, but
yeah, no, just to play devil's advocate here, because I think I am on the side of Abomination winning here, but I want to give Zeus his props. Like, if you look at the Cleavor, like you said, like any one turn, if they can get the play right, like let's say the 50, it's going to be a lot of mind games, but getting the 50-50s right on whether to click Close Combat or X-Scissor or Stone Axe, and potentially taking out one of Al's Mons, or at least weakening them a good chunk and just punching holes for a potential Luxray or whatever their win con is endgame. That could definitely put Zeus as winning. But of course, Al, they've got just so much bulk on their side and so much defensive Pokemon that I feel like they can pretty safely kind of cycle through. So it's just going to be a matter of a war of attrition, I think, and just getting the mind games right. So I think it's going to be the better player is going to win.
Yeah, I feel like if they both play equally well, I think Al wins this. So I think Zeus is really going to have to work if he wants to win this. Is kind of my takeaway from this. Is he really has to outplay Al by a significant margin if he's going to win this, which he could do. It is possible. I mean, we've seen him. I mean, we've seen Zeus do it before. He, like I said, he beat a lot of top players this season. So I mean, it is definitely possible. But he's going to have to put his mind on overdrive if he's going to pull this one off.
Yeah, and Abomination's gonna have to be careful because that slip up, if he makes one wrong prediction or one wrong move or
it's on a razor thin wire.
Yeah, but yeah, like his team is just so bulky. I can't. It's just annoying. I'm trying to take it down in my mind. It's just annoying me.
Yeah, we'll see. This is gonna be a great match to watch, I will say. And with that, then let's get into our second match here, which is going to be Kingbura versus Anastasia. Dave, you want to start us off on your thoughts?
Kingbura versus Anastasia. Let's see what they got. Primaria, Cobalion, Paladon. So, Giraffe, Captain. All right, so Breloom. I'll talk about Anastasia first because I did go up against her.
Yeah.
So Anastasia team, I look at it, I think the bulk, because it was Umbreon and Alamola. And then if you got that little prankster up there, is that Tornadus?
Yep.
And, right there, those Pokemon, and with that Muck, with that Terra, like what she pulled off on me with that Terra Ghost was really nice. Cursing 2 times and then using that curse to whatever. But those Pokemon right there are bulky, and Umbreon being bulky kind of both ways, and wishing, and with Alamola can also wish. They got a lot of like support to keep that team healthy. Cyclizar, Regenerator, and Hatterene, like all these Pokemon, they can keep the Pokemon up. You even got Breloom if you choose to do Toxic Orb. All these Pokemon are gonna have ways to get those health back up, and that's gonna be a little annoying to take down. Dunsparce, I like that Dunsparce. But that's what I look at it. When I look at it, it's like when I was thinking about it too, I'm like, dang, you got a lot of ways to get health back on all these Pokemon. And then you got Froslass there just to annoy you, spam those, the Destiny Bomb could pop out, Shadow Ball, Spikes, all these things. And that Tornadus up top, just coming in there and hitting you hard and taunting you, or they could set up Tailwinds for the rest of the team. Because looking at the rest of the team, they're just not the speediest bunch besides Cyclizar and like maybe the Tornadus and Froslass, but potential Tailwinds could come out helping them out. So I see that when I look at Anastasia's team, and the Magic Bounce Hatterene. I can't stand Magic Bounce.
I love Magic Bounce.
Well, I always fall for it. But yeah, the Hatterene Magic Bounce, all these Pokemon like the Alamola and the Umbreon, like the healing, like they have that heal factor. And Muck coming out there, just being Muck, it's gonna be a challenge for Kingbura. But I don't think I played Kingbura at all. No, I did not. But goated battler again. Everyone's goated. Like Primanera is really good Pokemon and strong hard hitter. Can do work against that Umbreon probably with the right Moonblasts and stuff. Cobalion, good steel and fighting type. Hippowdon, like again, like these are good Pokemon. Hippowdon setting up the sand, good for Lycanroc, good team synergy. Like both these teams work well together, and that's one thing I do like. I'm not too familiar with Kingbura's team. I didn't watch too much of the videos for them, and I didn't go up against them. But looking at, they got Lycanroc, fast. The speed is looking kind of a little even. Maybe when it gets a little bit down to like the 80s, it does a little bit gap there. So that might be good for Kingbura if he can get some of the fast ones from Anastasia out of the way. Hippowdon sending those rocks, taking those hits, whirlwinding those out could help, but like they got that Umbreon and Alamola, Hatterene, Tornadus, Cyclone, all these Pokemon can heal back up. Breloom coming in here against that Hippowdon. They're both looking good. I don't want to put on a favor, but I'm scared of Anastasia's team looking at it. Even if I had Kingbura's team, I'd be scared against Anastasia's team.
The way you talk about it, you sound like you still have nightmares about this Muck.
I do.
The man's been traumatized, apparently.
Yeah.
And and I'm sure Kingbura, like I was talking about, you guys made the play of the week with that Inkay, or what was the Pokemon of the week?
Yeah.
Yeah, that Inkay. Like anything could happen. Like Electivire, I'm sure if you can get, I don't know.
Yeah, my friend Inkay.
Yeah, well, Inkay. I don't know. Anastasia's team is just, when I look at that, I just think it's gonna be hard to take down, especially if Alamola and Umbreon are on the team. And then if you can't, while you're worrying about taking them out, the other strong guys come out and just start hitting you hard. And Kingbura, looking at the bulk side, Hippowdon and Primanera, maybe I feel like the bulkiness on Anastasia's side is a little bit better. And if Kingbura can't get the regens and stuff, if Kingbura can't really he's gonna be hitting them a lot. He's gonna have to hit them multiple times and get them. He's gonna have to keep Anastasia on the defensive, I want to say, the whole time to have a good shot.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, he's gonna have to keep her on the defensive, because if she starts getting those setups, it's gonna be so hard to take down some of her Pokemon.
Yeah. B-Nard, what are you thinking?
So I like a lot of the points you said, but I'm gonna disagree with a couple. But before I do that, I do want to say that there is one thing that you failed to mention in your analysis, my good man, and that is the fact that this is a showdown between two red-blooded, proud Fontaniacs right here, Kingbura and Anastasia.
I didn't even know Kingbura was a Fontaniac.
Me neither.
Oh, he is, and so this ensures that there will be a Fontaine representation, if you will, in the
Wow.
finals of the BHDL 6, and I am very excited for that.
Wow, you've been
So,
waiting to say that all day.
and actually, I just thought of it right now, believe it or
Ah,
not.
nice.
Yeah. So Anastasia, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that she is the BHDL Season 3 winner. So that is definitely a big. Yes, that is definitely big. So she's proven she can do it before. When I look at these two teams on paper, what sticks out to me, obviously on Kingbura's side, the Primarina and the Cobalion are really powerhouses. They synergize very well together. You've got the Hippowdon and the Lycanroc standard form right there. So that is great synergy. Drifblim is a pretty damn good utility Pokemon, specifically in the lower tiers, being able to defog and spin block. Of course, you've got the Terra Cryogonal. I'm a big fan of Electivire, actually, personally. I like it a lot. I think it does get a chance to shine in the lower tiers. And then you've got the Salazzle is a pretty solid one, too. Fast and strong. On Anna's side, of course, you see that... of course, the Magic Bounce Hatterene is very, very deadly. The Cyclers are arguably the best spinner on the board. The Tornadus, definitely big with that Prankster. And then, of course, I think I would almost make the argument that the Terra Muck is perhaps the best Terra captain on the board this season. I do think that is one advantage that Anastasia has in this matchup, is I do like her Terra captain selection better than Kingbura's going into this. There are a couple of the bulk on Anna's team, I do agree with my good pal Dangerous David here, with the bulk on Anna's team being next level compared to Kingbura's. But there are a couple of factors here that I think work in Kingbura's favor pretty strongly. And so if you look at Anna's type chart, she has a pretty glaring rock weakness first and foremost, which she's actually done a pretty decent job of avoiding that being exploited on her all season, and that's probably in part to the Hatterene with the Magic Bounce. So if you want to try and set rocks up on her, it's going to be difficult because you have to worry about them getting Magic Bounced, obviously. But she also kind of has a bit of a fairy weakness here as well, because she's got the Torracat, obviously, as one of her only fairy resistances, which realistically, is that going to come? Maybe, because it's low tier. I mean, Inky came to a game, for God's sake. So,
I mean, yeah, she's brought Torracat in the past.
Yeah, so you can't rule that out, but that it is an NFE, it is a weaker Pokemon, and then her other fairy resist is Muck, which is going to Terra out of that fairy resistance more than likely. So I see and if you look at Kingbura's team, two of his biggest threats are Primarina, a fairy type, and Lycanroc, a rock type. So I see a huge opportunity for Kingbura to exploit those weaknesses on Anna's side. So that's a big thing that sticks out to me when looking at this matchup. I do feel like the speed tiers are very even, but if you get Lycanroc in the sand, that flips that whole scenario upside down as well. So another thing that I noticed about Anna's team is I'm not really sure what Pincurchin is doing on this team, although again, I would be remiss if I didn't say that this makes the streak of Pincurchin making the playoffs.
Oh, I just realized that, B-Nard. Oh my goodness. How
season.
can I not realize it sooner? Pincurchin's the GOAT.
Yes, Pincurchin is the GOAT. And you know what? I'm going to make a very selfish sidebar right now, but I was so close to drafting Terra Pincurchin onto my team this season. I was like, you know what? I already used it. I don't want to use it again. I want to try something different, and it bit me in the ass. So I should have drafted the GOAT, the 100% playoff appearance Pokemon Pincurchin itself.
100% semifinals nearly.
Yes, semifinals pretty much every time too. So, there it is. But yeah. So yeah, this from a coach perspective, I know I didn't talk about that, but both Anna and Kingbura are very tried and true coaches. Anna, like I said, season 3 winner, that speaks for itself. Kingbura is pretty damn good too. He showed up last season, and he's made playoffs both times.
Yeah.
So he is definitely doing something right. I've watched some of his games. I've seen his play style, although I've never played him myself, I don't think. And he is a really solid player top to bottom as well. So as far as a coach versus coach perspective, they're pretty evenly matched in my opinion. But I do think there's more of an opportunity for Kingbura to kind of get in and do some serious work with, given how his Pokemon matchup specifically, the Primarina and the Lycanroc look just really, really good here. But
Yes.
what do you think about it, Emerald?
Yeah, I agree absolutely with that. And yeah, just to give you some context, Dave, I think I know at the very least, B-Nard had it in season 1, and I think maybe season 4. I can't remember when, but and I
Seasons
had
1 and 3.
seasons
But
1 and
Captain
3. He
Bernardo had
drafted
what?
Pincurchin. I had drafted Pincurchin in season 2, and we both made semifinals with it. And then
Oh,
now here it is
okay.
again in the semifinals.
And then
Of course, we
what's
both
his
had
name?
much more. I mean, we had like Halucha and Mons that could actually, like, I had Iron Valiant too, like Mons that could actually make use of the terrain, and it
Yep.
doesn't really have that. I can't even remember if this Mon
Pink
made it to a game or not this season.
I don't
But
know either,
just
but
the fact that it's
I do
there.
I do recall that I believe in season 4 it was a Pokemaster that drafted Pincurchin, and he got it to the quarterfinal. So,
Oh,
and I want to say in season 5, I don't think any of y'all drafted
Nobody
Pincurchin
drafted
in
it,
season
no.
5 because that was the Uber's season.
yeah.
But yeah, so we got 5 out of 5 times that Pincurchin has been drafted, it has made it to playoffs,
Wow,
and 4 out of
absolutely.
5 of those times it's made it to the semifinals.
He's
So
like,
you know,
alright, bring me on. You know where I'll be later.
Incredible.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it is the undeniable goat of the BHDL is Pincurchin. But go on.
Yes. Now, I will say, I feel like the last time that I was overall, like, I don't know, I think I was tired last week or something, coming off of work late. I didn't really get to go as accurate as I wanted to, I think, on some of these analysis. I tried to do a little bit better this time, but I feel like I got the right answer on Cody versus Anna last time, but I don't think I showed the right work. I didn't have the right work to back it up. But this week I want to say, obviously the Lycanroc looks incredible here with that huge rock weakness. Primarina looks great with the fairy weakness and the fact that there's no steel type. The fact that the Muck is likely going to have Fatera against something else. That being said, Anna does have this. I love this Breloom. Breloom is such a good Pokemon, man. And when you look at all the fighting type weaknesses on Burr's team, we got Lycanroc, who probably dies to a Mach Punch easy. Cobalion can't switch in. Cryo can't switch in unless it tears into something. And even then, it's got piss poor defenses. Primarina is slower than Breloom and absolutely gets wrecked by a Bullet Seed. Cacturn is slower. It is a Terra Captain though, but it's weak to just a lot. Like, there's not really that many switch-ins. He does have the Drift Blim, and I mean, kind of, Salazzle could probably switch in once, but it's the same way I felt last week. I just feel like this Breloom kind of just comes in. Obviously, they can have like Chople or something like that, or some other type of resist berry to get around the Breloom, but I just think it exerts a lot of pressure. Now, I will say one thing that I missed last week was that outside of like Breloom and maybe Tornadus, Anna's team is not very offensive. Like, obviously Hatterene's very strong, but it's just so slow. Like, the whole team is just so slow. Like, I think Danger was saying, like, you look at his speed tiers, obviously Cyclizar is the fastest for them. We got Salazzle, Lycanroc, Cobalion, what's it called? Cryogonal and Electivire. Look at all these 80 speed tiers. And immediately from Torracat, we get to Breloom just drops off a cliff to 70, 65, 65. The average speed tiers over here is much faster. Now, that does leave the potential for, I don't know if Anna would run Trick Room or not. That could be something to watch out for. But I just feel like Burr is usually going to be the one having the offensive presence, unless there's a Breloom on the opposing side. Like, even this Tornadus, you just get Accelerocked, or just even Rock Slid in the sand, and just show me your switches to Rock Slide. Unfortunately, their one rock resistance is the Breloom, and I'm sure that's going to take a good chunk from that. So I mean, yeah, just
And also,
overall.
doesn't want to switch
A lot
into
like
like an
rocks
Ice
to be
Fang,
hitting
Fire
hard.
Fang, close combat.
Psychic fangs, yeah. I'm
Psychic
telling
Fang,
you.
even all the fangs, you know.
All the fangs,
Um,
man.
yeah, but no, I agree with your. I do want to say I agree with your point that it almost seems like Anna's game kind of hinges on Breloom here. Like Breloom seems like way too big of a player in this game for her. You know, like it can do work to pretty much everything on Kingbura's team. Like even the Driftbloom can get hit with a Thunder
Rock Tomb.
Punch or a Rock Tomb or something. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with that being
So this
said,
game seems like it's going to hinge on Breloom.
yeah, another thing I will say though is that this is going to be another game where it kind of just come down to how they're going to cook first, because we know that Anna can cook, and we know that a big part of her game is like we saw in season 3. You know, she was the dark horse, and a lot of us didn't expect her to make it all the way to becoming the champion. You know, like every single time along the way, it was like, man, like I still remember seeing that Terra Normal Flail Gyarados in the finals, and you're just saying, like, man, she cooked. And so she's gonna have to do that once again here.
You know what's funny is that I just realized that I believe that in season 3 when Anna won, didn't she sneak in as like position number 8 in the playoffs?
Same thing here, bro. Yes, the history repeats itself, man.
I was just gonna say I'm getting very strong history will repeat itself.
Yeah, well,
that's
a big reason of why I said that she would beat Cody, was just because of that. Now, obviously, we can't always rely on history, because usually we always say that the top seeds are moving on to quarterfinal. Usually the higher seed always wins. It was like the opposite this time. The only one that was higher was Al, and he managed to win. But I mean, the top 3 just eliminated in the quarterfinals is crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but that being said, I think that we kind of got an idea of like how we're going. I know I've got Kingbura favored here. Seems like you do as well, B-Nard.
I'm gonna have to go with Anastasia due to PTSD.
Oh, really?
And with the fact that Anna's not gonna let Kingbura just go and let Lycanroc do whatever it wants. So I can see Anastasia trying to do something to counteract that. So I'm gonna have to disagree with you and go with Anna.
Hey, you know what? I'm glad that you're sticking up for your opinions, buddy, and making them known. Yes,
yeah, dude, she's got it, I'm sure. And Kingbura, I'm not doubting him at all. Like, he's got it with that Lycanroc, and like you guys said, I didn't really see it at first until you guys started talking about it. He's got that synergy. But Anastasia, the winner, and the way she played against me, I want to say she's got it. She's gonna do something. She's not gonna let it go down easy. She's gonna make him work for it if he does go for it. I think she's got it. She knows what she's doing.
You know, when I came into this analysis, I will say I agree with what your assessment of me was, Emerald. When I came into the analysis, I was looking at the teams. I was like, you know, I really think I favor Kingbura to win this match, but the more I look at it, the more I don't know. And like, the one thing that's throwing me though is like, with Anna, it's like, okay, she's got the Muck and the Breloom. Like Terra Muck is a powerhouse in every sense of the word. But
I love Terra Muck. I used it last season.
Yes, but and that Breloom too. Like I do believe that this game is going to kind of hinge on Breloom as far as like, can she? You know, I feel like if Kingbura can like catch the Breloom off guard with something and knock it out, or if she gets a bad switch in with it and it just goes down, then she's going to be in trouble. You know, I think it's a lot closer than I had originally thought, but
I think it is close, yes.
It's really close, and I do think like, so man, it's really hard, because I feel like on a as good as both of these players are, I feel like on a pure player level, I think Anna takes it over by a little bit, because I have seen what she's capable of doing, like with the sets that she makes, and obviously season 3 was a big example of that. I believe I lost to her in the semifinals in season 3, if I'm not mistaken. So you know, it's just the sets she brings are just next level. So, but it's hard for me, because I'm seeing like an on paper advantage for Kingbura, but I'm seeing like a perhaps a little bit of a player advantage for Anna, just because of the cooking. So Man, it is really tough.
It is
I know
a
I have
hard
to.
one.
I'm
Trust
rambling
me,
because I'm trying
I've
to.
seen that same thing too. That's the thing,
Yeah.
and we saw it with. Well, we didn't get to see it necessarily. We'll kind of go over it in the
Yeah.
recap. But basically, Anna was able to catch Cody off guard, like turn 1, with a switcheroo trick, choice scarf, I think, onto the Gujar Sui. That
Yeah.
kind of just set the rest of the game up for her because that was Cody's big win con. So she
Yeah.
needs to be able to do something like that again. Like she's caught Scorpion off guard in the finals. I'm sure she did something to catch you off guard in the semifinals.
Of course.
B-Nard.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it was like a mixed set Meloetta, I think that threw me for a loop. I think when I faced her many seasons ago, but you know what? I think I have to do this. I think I'm gonna actually flip, and I think I'm gonna say I think Anna wins this.
And
And
I can respect it.
And the reason I'm gonna say it, well, and it may be more of a superstition than anything, but I feel like she came in 8th place in the playoffs last time, came in 8th place at the playoffs this time, beat the #1 seed. I'm getting a very strong history repeats itself premonition. So even though like the analytical side of me wants to say Kingbura's got an edge on paper, I feel like Anna is going to bring something to this game that is going to catch him off guard, and she's going to get an advantage, and I think she's going to win because of it. So I think I'm gonna, from just knowing what kind of a player she is, I think Anna wins this.
Well said, Captain Bernardo.
I can respect that, absolutely. Yeah, and you know what? It is interesting because like just going back to history, like I just kind of realized this as I was looking at it, because Anna joined in season 3, Al joined in season 4, Kingbura joined in season 5, Zeus joined this season in season 6, and then in that same order, Anna was a champion, Al was a semifinalist in season 4, Kingbura was a quarterfinalist in season 5, and then Zeus just joined the playoffs this season. So it's kind of just like this weird numerology game. I don't know how that works out, but it did.
Man, these are some crazy patterns you're picking up on, man.
I love patterns.
To show
man.
that
What can I
anything
say?
happen.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of the BHDL, like you said, because on the one hand, obviously someone can have an on-paper advantage, right? But this is the BHDL, this is draft. Like, it might not matter as much, you know? Like, we've seen these dynamics before where, you know, someone cooks, like we saw, like with Pokemaster versus Zeus. I mean, we all thought that he had the advantage outside of, like, the Luxray, but it's like, oh, he brought Executor as the win con. The Luxray was just a support mon, you know? So, like, whatever they could do to throw him off.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like Anna's gonna do something crazy, like bring, I don't know, like Choice Specs Alamomola or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
well, I don't know if that
Yeah.
can work or not, but I think something along that.
something
idea.
outlandish. She's gonna
Yeah.
bring
Well,
something
I
outlandish.
think that she didn't even bring her defensive Pokemon in the last game. Was the thing was that she kind of went that more offensive route, and I think she kind of had to in order to break
Yeah.
Cody's team, because his team was super bulky and hard to kind of do that, especially with.
Yeah.
I mean,
it is.
within
Yeah.
60 minutes, you know, on Wi-Fi, to break
Yes.
through the team. But you know, we'll see what she does.
Yeah.
That's the thing I'm glad for, though, is that both of these games should be on video. So
Yes,
because we haven't
absolutely.
really, honestly, we've seen a little bit of Anastasia. We haven't seen all her games though, so that's also what kind
So-
of gives her an advantage, because we haven't really
So
seen
I should have
everything
said-
she does.
I should have said this when you asked me this question earlier, but I'm going to say it now because I just remembered it. This season was a big reminder to me that not being seen on camera is a huge advantage to coaches.
Yeah.
but I digress.
You know, you make a great. Let me look at these standings here.
That-
Yeah.
that's
Do you
fair.
think, like,
I can see why,
Brandon,
yeah.
Aprater, H.I.M, B-Nard, Danger Dave. But then we also have me. Zeus, Anna, DRVR. Well, DRVR just started uploading. Cody, Lazyboi. Yeah, lots of folks that
Lazy-
don't record, you know.
You got like what,
there might
5 or
might
6
be a
people in the
slight
top-
correlation there, just a slight correlation there.
Yes, you got like 5 or 6 people in the top 8 that don't post or don't record. So yeah, it's an advantage, man.
It definitely is,
uh,
man. I
think-
feel you though. Because especially because like when I do like my team builders and I go like in depth and it's like, wow, I'm just giving them all the sets. Somebody can easily watch back all my videos and prep for me.
Yep, absolutely. 100% is
That
the
is true. I've thought about stuff like that sometimes too.
Achilles heel of being a content creator.
And then,
Yeah,
like, you're trying to, like,
usually I
talk
can
and-
power through, but you know, it is
Yeah.
something to consider. Wow,
Yeah.
so all right, I'm outvoted here. I can respect it though. 2-1. We're saying the official prediction is Anna, and that would be. Oh wait, we said Al would win, right? I think.
Yes, the official
Okay,
predictions.
so at
I
least
think,
if
are
we're
Al
if
and
according to our predictions, because there is a scenario where Zeus and Anna win, and the finals just don't get recorded at all.
Anna. Oh God, that would be
Oh,
a first, I think,
geez.
for BHDL actually. No, you
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
If,
I
if
mean, if
that
somebody
happens-
had a Switch 2, I could easily, record it that way. But unless
Other than that,
somebody
we need-
Fontaines it in the finals, the Fontaine
you took
finals.
the words right out of
Dude,
my
I
mouth.
almost had a Joey Fontaine my video on my last one if my Switch 2 didn't come in time.
Yes.
I almost had to Fontaine it.
We need that Fontaine footage for sure.
The Fontaine
So-
finals footage, man.
Yeah,
It's
but
tough
if
though,
we-
because it is like tough to record it, and like
Yeah,
having
I
to
wouldn't-
do that with your phone. I think Al had trouble with that himself.
Yeah,
trying to do
it's
that.
like
Versus Anna, ironically.
Yeah, I was gonna say we gotta
I was gonna
twist.
try to tape my webcam to my head.
Get a tripod, man. That's what I used to do before I had a recording software. Is I just put a tripod on my coffee table and pointed it at my TV, and it's if you go back and watch my Sword and Shield battles, that's how they were all recorded. So
Wow, that's crazy.
But yeah, low tech, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and with that, I think that's where we'll end it off here. Thank you so much to B-Nard and Danger Dave for joining me here
Yeah,
to
that was
break down these
cool.
teams.
I'm glad I was invited to this. It was really awesome.
Yeah, that was great to hear.
Glad to
Thank
have you,
Yeah,
my
I
man.
can't wait for more. These leagues are amazing.
Yeah, man.
Yes, absolutely. I was glad to be here too. And yeah, we were glad to have you, man.
All right, and with that, we will see you guys this weekend for the recap and for the semifinals. So be sure to check out
Yep,
Al and
next week.
Kingbura's channels, because that's where you're
It's
gonna
gonna
be able to
be-
see them firsthand.
Gonna be must see.
that.
Tune in.
All right, this Sunday, BHDL semifinals.
Can't wait.